Yeah. When people talk about my career, they usually start with the championships, the battles with Shaq or the 81 point game. But very few go back to where it all began, my rookie season. And trust me, that story is way crazier than people remember. I was just a kid, 17 years old, not even legally an adult yet. Most kids my age were stressing over SATs and prom dates. Me, I was preparing to go toe-to-toe with grown men, Hall of Famers, legends, and prove to the world that I wasn't just some high school experiment. June 26, 1996, that night changed everything. I wasn't the number one pick. I wasn't the second or third. I slipped all the way to 13. The Charlotte Hornets called my name, and to be honest, most people thought that was where my story would end. Just a skinny kid drafted by a team that didn't really want me. All right, but behind the scenes, Jerry West, the logo himself, had already seen something. He believed I could be the future of the Lakers. So he pulled the trigger, glided it back to Charlotte, Kobe Bryant to Los Angeles. Just like that, I went from being a mid-first rounder to landing on one of the biggest franchises in sports. That's when the pressure really started. Los Angeles isn't just any city. It's bright lights, movie stars, constant cameras. The Lakers weren't just a team, they were the team. And here I was, a teenager, stepping into their locker room. The first thing I noticed when I in the Lakers was that I didn't exactly get a warm welcome. You have to understand this was a team of veterans. Guys like Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Eldon Campbell. These dudes had already been around the block. And then here comes this 17-year-old kid talking about how he wants to be the best to ever play. Yeah, some of them looked at me sideways. Some thought I was arrogant. But I didn't care. Confidence wasn't arrogance to me, it was survival. If I didn't believe in myself, nobody else would. Coach Del Harris, though, he wasn't about to hand me the keys. He was old school. He trusted veterans, not rookies, especially not rookies who couldn't even buy a drink legally. My minutes were limited. Some nights I barely get off the bench. But every second I did get, I treated like gold. On November 3rd, 1996, I became the youngest player to ever play an NBA game. 18 years and 72 days old. Think about that for a second. High school gym 1 month, NBA arena the next. When I touched the ball, I wasn't thinking about age. I wasn't thinking about pressure. I was thinking about scoring, about attacking, about showing people I belonged. My stat line that year didn't blow anyone away, about 7 points per game. But it wasn't about the numbers. It was about the flashes, the reverse dunks, the footwork, the guts to take shots most rookies wouldn't even attempt. And trust me, people noticed. February 1997, Cleveland, Ohio, All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest. For me, this was my chance to show out. I wasn't getting starter minutes during the season, but under those lights, that was my moment. I stepped onto the floor, 18 years old, the youngest player in the contest. Some guys were nervous. I pulled out a between the legs dunk, clean, powerful. The crowd went nuts. Judges didn't even hesitate. I walked out of that building the slam dunk champion, the youngest ever. That was the night people started saying my name. Fans were buzzing, kids wanted to be me. But the media, they were split. Half of them said this kid is the future. The other half said all he can do is dunk. He's just flash. Didn't matter to me. Either way, they were watching. Back in Los Angeles, though, I was still just a bench player. Coach Harris stuck with the veterans. I'd get maybe 15 minutes a game, sometimes less. I wanted more, I needed more. I wasn't patient, I hated sitting. Meanwhile, Shaquille O'Neal had just arrived that season, too. Big fella was the new face of the Lakers. And that meant all eyes were on him, not me. I respected Shaq, but I wanted my share of the spotlight, too. And that created tension. Not just between me and Shaq, but with the other guys, too. Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. They didn't always love how confident I was. They thought I was moving too fast, trying to take over before I earned it. You know, what they didn't see was the hours. I'd show up to practice before anybody else, stay long after. If I wasn't playing, I was studying. If I wasn't studying, I was in the gym. I wasn't just trying to be good, I was obsessed with being unstoppable. Then came the playoffs. As we made it to the second round against the Utah Jazz, that team was no joke. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Jerry Sloan coaching them, disciplined, experienced, ruthless. Game 5, series on the line. Tight game, overtime. Shaq fouls out. Suddenly, the ball is in my hands. I was 18 years old. on the biggest stage I'd ever seen in one of the toughest arenas in the league. This was the moment I had dreamed about. I took the shot, air ball, got the ball again, pulled up, air ball. Overtime's winding down. Another shot, air ball. Final chance, one more time, air ball. 4 straight, 4 air balls. The Lakers eliminated, the Jazz celebrated. The cameras zoomed in on my face as I walked off that court. You can't imagine what that feels like. The embarrassment, the noise, the headlines the next morning, overhyped, arrogant kid exposed. People were laughing at me saying the Lakers made a huge mistake, that I wasn't ready. But here's the thing, that moment didn't break me. It awakened something in me. I wasn't afraid of failure, I was afraid of not trying. And I knew those air balls weren't about talent, they were about strength, about legs. By the end of the game, my body wasn't conditioned enough to knock those shots down. That was on me. So I went to work. That summer, I lived in the gym. I lifted, I ran, I studied film. I obsessed over every detail. I wanted to make sure that the next time I had the ball with the game on the line, my body and my mind would both be ready. Those 4 air balls, they became fuel. They lit a fire inside me that never went out. Looking back, that was the birth of the mentality people later called the Mamba mentality. The idea that failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. That embarrassment, doubt, and criticism aren't walls, they're fuel. That if you're not willing to put everything on the line, even at the risk of looking foolish, then you don't really want greatness. My rookie season didn't end with the championship. It ended with humiliation, but that humiliation became my foundation. From that point on, I was never the same. I wasn't just a kid with dreams anymore. I was a machine, student, an assassin in training. When people ask me about my rookie career, I don't hide from it. I don't erase the air balls, and I embrace them, because without that failure, there's no 5 championships, there's no 81-point game, there's no Mamba mentality. I was 17 when I stepped into the NBA. By 18, I had already faced the kind of humiliation that could end a career, but I didn't let it. I used it. And that's why to this day, when a young player comes into the league with hype, they're not just compared to anybody, they're compared to me. Because I wasn't afraid to take those shots, and I damn sure wasn't afraid to miss them.